Hello students, welcome back to my channel CSI Buddy, and this is the second part of fertilization in mammals. And in this part we are going to study about capacitation. If you haven't watched my that first part regarding to fertilization in mammals, so first go and watch that part, then only you will be able to understand this whole concept. So let's get started. So first of all, the definition of capacitation. The set of physiological changes by which the sperm becomes competent to fertilize the egg is called capacitation. So there are certain steps which a sperm would follow. There are certain physiological changes which the sperm has to follow to reach up to the ovum and also to fertilize this ovum. So how it is possible? Through capacitation. So if a sperm has to fertilize the egg, it has to undergo a series of physiological changes so that it becomes competent enough to fertilize the ovum. Is it clear to you all? So why do we need this capacitation thing? So what happens is that if we draw a female reproductive part, so sperms have a life of 7 days. So sperm may take a 7 days period to reach over the fallopian tube or the reproductive tract. So and the life of sperm is only 24 hours. So how it is possible that the sperm may reach between this time period? As if we see that it is taking 7 days in a normal condition. So in order to fasten up the speed, and make the sperm able to fertilize the ovum, we need the process that is known as capacitation. So now we will see that what are the steps, what are the changes which are taking place. So this you can see a plasma membrane. It is a plasma membrane of a sperm. So if this is a sperm, in its head portion, it is the plasma membrane. So first of all, what happens is the cholesterol is taken away through albumin, which is a protein. So very first step कि cholesterol को ले लिया जाता है because to maintain the lipid raft. And what is lipid raft? When many lipids get attracted to each other in a very close proximity so that they can make a contact with the ovum very easily. So this is known as lipid raft. But as cholesterol is present in between of these lipid raft. So I will take another color. So these are the cholesterol. Until and unless we don't extract the cholesterol from outside from this, there wouldn't be able to make the lipid raft, right? So we have to remove this cholesterol molecules. So cholesterol molecules are removed with the help of albumin. Now in the second step, what is happening? That K positive ion is taken out from a K positive transporter. As K positive is having a positive charge, so what will happen? This membrane would acquire now a negative charge. Why? Because the positive charge is going outside. So as to maintain the balance of positive and negative charge, we get Ca2 positive inside. So that's why when K positive goes outside, then Ca2 positive, that is calcium ions, come inside to preserve this positive charge. And this is possible through a through a channel which is known as Caspar. Then what will happen? This HCO3 will also come inside, and both Ca2, that is calcium, and HCO3 will combine and activate this sperm adenylate cyclase. And sperm adenylate cyclase is responsible for converting this ATP to CAMP, that is cyclic AMP. Now, if you have read about or learned about anything about cell signaling, then you will get this step very easily. I will be uploading the videos related to cell signaling, so then only you will have a better understanding. So if you haven't studied about cell signaling, you should have some of the knowledge about cell signaling, then only you will get this point. So in this step, what is happening, that ATP is converted into CAMP. So again, Ca positive, Ca2 positive and HCO3 negative combinedly activated this protein, that is cyclic sperm adenylate cyclase. And now sperm adenylate cyclase is responsible for converting the ATP into CAMP, that is cyclic AMP. Now what will happen, this CAMP will have a positive effect on pKa, that is protein kinase A. And whenever this term comes kinase, it means something is getting phosphorylate. And if something is getting phosphorylate, either the thing will get activated or either it will get deactivated. So whenever we phosphorylate a substrate or any protein for that matter, it will either activate that thing or it will have a negative impact on that. So in this case, we have to activate something. So we are phosphorylating tyrosine kinase, and tyrosine kinase would be responsible for activating other proteins which are required for the capacitation of the sperm. So in the last, we are getting the capacitation of the sperm, which was the whole point, right? Now in the between, what all is also going on? Ca2 positive, every time we see calcium, even in our muscles also, it is responsible for movement, and movement is done by dynein. And what is dynein? These are microtubules which you will study in cell biology. So dynein, Ca2 positive, that is calcium, will activate dynein, and so it will move. It will show, the tail will show the movement because of this calcium ion. And the next thing, tyrosine kinase have a hyperactive effect. Hyperactive effect means that the sperm will now move very fast. In previous slide, I have already talked that a sperm usually will take 7 days. And 7 days अगर कोई sperm ले रहा है तो the environment is so acidic that it won't be able to even reach the ovum in time. So to fasten up the speed, the tyrosine comes into a play and it hyperactivates the sperm, and the sperm will now move fast. So I think this concept of capacitation and the steps, the important thing is to remember the steps, that what are the all steps are followed and how the sperm gets activated. Now this is the overall view. You can take a screenshot, or else I will provide the PDF of the same in the description box, so you can take PDF from that also. So very first step was efflux of cholesterol by the protein albumin. And why it is happening? Because I have already told that lipid raft is present in the interior of the sperm. So we need to get rid of cholesterol. Anterior of the sperm, head interact. Now head will interact with the ovum very easily because of this lipid raft. Then what will happen? It will interact with zona pellucida and it will digest this layer. Why there is need to digest this layer? Because the sperm has to enter the ovum, and in order to enter this ovum it has to digest this layer. And how this digestion is possible? Because sperm is having acrosin secreted, which is an enzyme which would digest this zona pellucida layer. So it is gonna digest these zona pellucida layer. Now the second step, what has happened? Protein change, protein and carbohydrate lost, because it is found that protein may block the interaction between the sperm and the ovum. Third thing, we have already studied that K positive ions move through the K positive channel to the outside, hence making the membrane potential negative, and because of this the Ca2 positive, that is calcium, comes inside and will activate the dynein so that the sperm may get capacitation and may move very fast. So I think this also is clear to you all. Again, movement of sperm depends upon two things. One is thermotaxis, that is dependent upon the temperature difference, and second is chemotaxis, that is chemical thing. Now in condition of thermotaxis, we know that isthmus and ampulla have a temperature difference of 2 degrees Celsius. So isthmus to ampulla, there is a rise in a 2 degrees Celsius, that is ampulla is having a 2 degrees Celsius rise. So the sperm would move from lower temperature concentration to the higher temperature concentration. So this is known as thermotaxis, and taxis means movement. Now what is chemotaxis? Chemotaxis is some chemical which attract the sperm, chemicals that attract the sperm, and the chemical which is released is known as progesterone, and it is released from the cumulus layer. And if you remember what is cumulus layer, so this outer layer, you can see this outer layer. In the previous video I have already uploaded this diagram of structure of egg and I have explained each and everything, but in order to remind you, cumulus layer is this, and it secretes progesterone, and progesterone is a chemical which will be sensed by the sperm, and sperm will get attracted to this progesterone. Now sperm release hyaluronidase enzyme. Hyaluronidase will again digest this cumulus layer, which is the first layer. This one layer is the cumulus layer, and the hyaluronidase secreted by the sperm would help in digesting this cumulus layer. Now the thing to note is that when we talked about phosphorylation, that these all step, that is capacitation वगैरह जो भी हमने करा, is because we have to activate some of the proteins. So capacitation of sperm would actually activate some of the proteins which are essential for the sperm and egg to get fertilized. So one of the protein which is very important is known as isomoprotein, which is important for the sperm egg interaction. So this is a very important point which you have to remember. So that was it for today's video. I think that all these things are clear to you all, and I will give the link of the previous video below in the description box. If you have any doubt regarding this video, so please let me know in the comment section, and if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.